have as to what I should do with my life. And so we're going to identify that today. Hopefully everyone has a pen and paper, because this is training. This is how you're going to move that comma in your bank account. So my reason actually for connecting with the Matrix Group is pretty simple. Actually, at first, it was about making money. I'll be honest, right? My first reason was about making money. But it wasn't until I started understanding how life works that I realized that money is just a tool. Money is a result. So I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do with that money? And when I started thinking about it, I was saying, okay, well, you know what? I actually have a goal to change and shift my family tree. A person that wasn't an actor or a ball player, but I still wanted to buy my parents a house. And I wanted to make sure that my children never go through the financial struggles and difficulties that I've known growing up. I mean, that was huge for me, because understanding that my parents have huge hearts. My mom had a stay-at-home mom. My dad's in the Marines for 30 years, serving the country, right? So I know work ethic. I know working class principles. But even though they have huge hearts and they adopted 5 more kids, I knew that I was going to be responsible for helping to take care of them once they get into their 70s and 80s. But if the average person that's in their 20s, 30s, and 40s can barely take care of themselves, how are they going to take care of their parents? And I knew that 97% of Americans by the age of 65 are either dead or broke. Broke being dependent on family, government, or friends. And since I didn't want that for my parents, and we know Social Security is not going to be around by the time we hit that age, I had to do something different. I had to create a different result for my life. And that's one of the reasons that that's the reason I tapped into and connected with this family. And it's just been a beautiful ride, especially when I look at where I've been in my life, where I'm at right now is 10 times further than I ever expected within a very short period of time that I've been connected with this family. And now moving forward, where I'm going, I mean, just the vision is just beautiful. That's the next thing we'll talk about as far as being identified, is where you're going in life. It's one thing to know your journey as far as where you've been. You also know where you are in life right now. Now, the next thing is to understand where you're going. You have to have that roadmap, right? If we all say, okay, we're going to go to New York, put in our GPS, New York, right? But where? It's just going to give us New York. But unless we put in the address, unless we put in the street, unless we're specific as to where we're going, then it'll actually narrow it down. It's the same thing in life. It's the exact same thing in life. So what I want to do, just because there's a few great examples in here of why some of the people have decided to connect with our family, we'll give a few examples. So let's do this. Mr. Harewood, if I could have you stand up and share your reason why you connected with this family.
Sure, I'd be happy to. My reason why has actually evolved over the time that I've been involved with the Matrix and ACN in general. And initially, like Mr. Hall had expressed, mine was for financial reason. I wanted to generate more income. I already had an established business that was doing quite well in insurance, but like with everything, there are times when you have the peaks and the valleys, and I wanted to diminish the valleys. So I was brought into this business, and it just made sense because insurance also has a residual component. So I didn't have to be sold. I came in, I saw it, I got it before it was even completed, and I signed it the first night. Well, my family's from Panama, right? My dad came here directly out of high school. His eldest sister was here. She sponsored him to the US. And he came up, he got his education, he joined the Air Force, and he went back home and married my mom. And so I'm the first American born in our family. My parents came up here to give their children, when they had them, a better opportunity than they would have had in Panama. And they sacrificed. My mom worked until I was in the first grade, and my dad said, no, you stay at home. He had 3 jobs. And really sacrificed to make sure that my brother, my sister, and I went to the best institutions that they could afford. We went to fantastic high schools and colleges on their dime. Well, his elder sister, who sponsored him here, was ill, and it was a situation that was just really, it tore our heart, because we had to essentially extinguish all of her assets so that she could get able to remain in a home. She ultimately passed away, and the only thing that was left was her house. All of her assets were depleted. Now, you would think by depleting the assistance from the government, that was it. No, they wanted their money back after she passed away. So essentially, we could have sold her house or refinanced her house to help offset some of that income. That's what happened. So with that happening, knowing that now my parents are getting older, I did not want them to be in that situation. So this made perfect sense so that I could generate sufficient enough income to have a reserve for them to never have to go through that. And so that's one of my whys. My other why is 9 months ago, my daughter had a son, and so I have a grandson, and I want to make sure that his children's children have absolutely no financial concerns, that they'll be able to attend the best colleges they choose and be able to establish their business however they want. So that's essentially my life.
That's awesome. Give it a round of applause. Perfect, perfect. So I don't know your last name, but I want to call you by your last name.
Paul Changri.
Changri?
Yeah.
Mr. Changri, can you join me up here real quick?
Sure.
Mr. Changri, can you, Changri, correct?
Changri, yes.
Mr. Changri, can you please do me a favor and share your reason why that you decided to connect with this particular project?
Got it. Well, I'm a real estate appraiser, and I had a really great business going on. And then through no fault of my own, the government stepped in and changed the rules for appraisers. And so literally within about a 6-month period, I lost about 30 clients. And in doing so, I had to let go of about 7 employees and appraisers and staff. And so I found myself in a position like, holy moly, I got 2 kids, I got a wife, and I had this level of lifestyle that I had to take care of, and I was scrambling. So long story short, I found CN, and I truly, for the first time, I see a brighter future for myself and my family. And specifically, why I'm here with the Matrix Group is I was lucky enough when I first got in this business, we were actually in Florence, and within that office, I ended up getting a little office. And on one side of me was Mr. Byron Nelson. On the other side was Mr. Troy Wilkinson. On the other side was Mr. Steve Strachan. We had Jeff Weber, Efren Tejada, all these great leaders. And it just felt right. So why I'm here right now with Matrix Group is Steve and I are good friends, and we're working together, and I'm very focused at this point. I went through a phase where I had to give more attention to my business to make sure that cash flows kept coming in. And now I'm just very, very focused and look forward to growing the team and being an asset here, the Matrix team.
That's awesome. Round of applause. Outstanding. We need to get a female perspective. All the girls in front are like, don't call me, don't call me. Michelle, do you mind joining me here in the front? If you could share your reason why you connected with our family.
Yeah.
She's got technology everywhere. Around her neck, in her pocket.
Getting paid on it, though. Getting paid on it.
There you go. Getting paid on itself.
Good evening, everybody.
Good.
My why. I am a mom of 3 and a grandma of 1. And I've been basically working really, really hard since I was about 17 years old. I had my first daughter when I was 19 years old, my first year in college. I had big plans of doing, a doctor. And if you guys know, having children will derail that, and you have to do what it takes in order to support your children. And so I did that for about 20 years. And when my oldest daughter turned 21, I decided that I wanted to go back to school and finish getting my degree. Now, in all that time that I was working really, really hard, I was doing as much as I could for my kids, but I was losing time with them. I was missing parent-teacher conferences. I was, missing out on special moments with them because I'm chasing a dollar, because I'm trying to do best schools, that sort of thing. And when my oldest daughter turned 21, I went back to school and I finished my degree. And I thought this was going to be the big change to everything. Once you get that paper, that's supposed to be, you get a good job, you this is supposed to be the answer. And all I got was another job. And so that meant that I now had 2 jobs. I worked for myself. I'm still so busy that my youngest daughter decided she wanted to go live with her dad. She didn't want to live with me because she didn't have the time with me that she needed. And that was a earth-shattering thing to experience. And I had to look at that and say, I have to do something different. 1 job, 2 job, 3 job. Obviously, something is going wrong here. I need to do something different. And my daughter now wants to come back because she's my little mini-me. She wants to come back. But when she comes back, I need to be able to have time with her that I didn't have before. So for me, this is a vehicle that is taking some of that work away, like what I've been trying to do. And I'm saying, okay, well, it's going to take me 10 years to get here. Now I can do it in 2 with this vehicle. And even quicker, depending on how fast you want to move, and I intend to move very fast, it's going to happen by September when she comes back. And that's my why, as my baby. So, yes.
Outstanding. So, do you guys kind of get the picture as far as how the why works? All right, so I want everyone to take 30 seconds. You have your notepad and your pen to be able to write down and identify the reason why it is that you connected with this project. Now, as you're writing and typing, your thumbs are moving really fast. The beautiful thing about understanding the way this works, the gentleman that's going to come up next and explain a little bit more as far as the system that we have in place, is you'll see how the why literally evolves over time, but also fits into every aspect of what we do, as far as acquiring customers, acquiring business partners, all of that. So he'll go over that. But I just wanted to do one thing real quick. Who was here for the first for our training within the last, I'd say, 2 weeks? Who here is just identified and connected with us in the last 2 weeks? 1, 2, 3. That's 2 weeks? Yeah? Okay, perfect, perfect. Outstanding. So, out of you, raise your hand if you would like to share your what. We've got, hand up there. Is it what? Yeah, come on. I think you raised your hand. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You got to. Outstanding. So very briefly, just go ahead and take a few seconds to share your reason why you connected with this project.
Hi, my name is Ernestine Cruz. I'm a real estate broker. I've been a real estate broker since 1989. And this last economic market crisis took a lot of my financial income. And I was looking for something that's going to create residual income because I am tired of duplicating my time on and on and on. And I want to be able to work hard for a specific amount of time and build residual income where I no longer have to work anymore and my income is constantly, I'm constantly making money without me working so hard. So that's the reason why I was interested in this this product.
That's awesome. Give a round of applause.
Hi guys, I'm Eva Kemper.
The reason I wanted to join here was because this is my last year of college, and I'm almost about 20,000 in debt with school loans, and it's just very hard sometimes with these part-time jobs. You know, it's too much working under someone, not getting paid enough, not getting enough hours a week. It just doesn't add up to the bills you have to pay a month. And then my dad, he's the only supplier at the house. My mom's a stay-at-home mom, taking care of my littlest sister who's handicapped, so she has enough with that. My dad works more than 40 hours a week. He has a decent job, you know. Luckily, he is a homeowner, so we don't pay mortgage, but it's still a lot more bills on the table. And I just want to retire him before he turns 60, definitely.
Great.
So that's why.
Thank you for sharing. That takes a lot to be able to come up and very recent with connecting with our families. Give them another round of applause. That's awesome. So how would it make you feel if over the next 6 to 9 months or within a short period of time, you were able to create some extra income for your household to help retire your parents and pay off your student loans? How would that help make you feel?
That would be amazing.
There you go. That's outstanding. So you're in the right place. How about yourself? With the time that you want to create, with the financial stability and security, what would you do with that extra time?
Do whatever I want to do.
I like that. There you go. There you go. Who wants to live a life like that where you can just do what you want, when you want, because you want to do it, right? You know, I realize that the average person works a job because they have to pay bills. Most people that I know wouldn't work a job, they didn't have to pay bills. You know, they would just travel and shop and eat. So I have the outstanding privilege of bringing up our next speaker. And I have to say, this really just goes to the heart of this organization and this company and the heart of our group as a family. Because I first met this gentleman 3,000 miles away. I had just come into the business. I heard about this event. It was called a national. And I had to fly all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina. Just came into the business. And they're like, oh, you got to fly to Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, all right. So I'm going to take it seriously. So I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to go. I'm going to see what this is all about. So I get out there. I get there at, I think it started at 9. I get there at 8, not knowing you're supposed to get there early. There are people that were in line for hours. I had no idea. So I'm walking around this huge arena, thousands of people, and I can't find a seat anywhere. I can't find a seat. I'm like, I don't want to sit in the nosebleeds, but I'm walking around, and this gentleman, he's like, hey, you look lost. I'm like, yeah, because I am lost. And he goes, well, where are you from? I said, from Los Angeles. He said, well, what organization, what group are you part of? I said, the Matrix Group. He was like, oh, with Mr. Nelson? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, well, you know, I'm part, I mean, we're good friends, you know, part of the Empire, part of the Matrix, your family. So here, let me get you a seat right here. You got an extra seat? Yeah. So this was my first experience meeting this guy 3,000 miles away. He had no idea who I was, but because of the connection of the family. I mean, there are people within this group that I'm closer to than some of my blood relatives because of that direction and connection of what we do and our hearts for helping other people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's powerful to me. That goes a long way. I can talk about, you know, what he's done for his family, his accolades, being an award-winning producer, and some of the things that he's done in the entertainment industry, some of the things that he's doing in a tax world, owning multiple businesses. I can talk about what he's done for his parents and the college funds and trust that he's set up, financial stability for generations to come. I could talk about all those things. But the thing that touched me the most is his heart for his kids, the person that he is as a family man and an amazing friend. So please do me a humongous favor. Stand to your feet and give an enormous round of applause to Regional Vice President, Mr. Steve Strachan.
Good evening, everybody. Fantastic. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. And so I love your testimony. Thank you very much for sharing. You know, and that's one of the things that's critically important that we all understand is the reason why we do the business is what connects us to the business, what connects us to the leadership, what connects us to the company. Because everybody that joins ACN joins because of their own specific reason why. Does that make sense? And so before I get started with our training tonight, I actually want to hand it back to both Queen Sika as well as, because you have such amazing leaders within the Matrix family, and those of you who have been around or been with us for a bit really get a sense of the integrity. But you know, when I met Elijah at that national convention, I remember. And our job is to identify leaders. Our job is to identify individuals who bring value to our organization, our family, and to our company. And without a shadow of a doubt, I know that that Elijah Hall will be a senior vice president, certainly well on his way to hitting regional vice president, but he will be one of the distinguished leaders as ACN continues to become a $2 and a $5 and a $10 billion company. So please help me show my appreciation for that. Great. So again, it's a privilege and an honor to speak with you tonight. Again, our fearless leader, Mr. Byron Nelson, is on the other side of the world. And he's in Australia, and he's training my team. So I figured I would hang out and train his team. And what we're going to, today's training is going to be very, very clear and concise and geared towards the new person. Okay. And it's important that we understand that within ACN, the majority of our training is really geared towards the new person getting started. And why do you think that is? It's because our business is really geared towards empowering individuals. And the only way that you can become a regional vice president or a senior vice president is by helping other people get started in the business, become an executive team trainer, become an executive team leader, become a team coordinator. And our job is to reach out and help people every step of the way. How many of you like that idea? That when you're getting started, there's going to be somebody who's seasoned in the business who's going to reach out to you, take you by the hand, and say, this is how we're going to do it. And your job in the beginning is to be coachable. Does everybody understand what the word coachable means? Yes. We'll tell you what to do, and you do it. Right? You don't ask, don't question, you just do it. There is an element of trust that needs to be there. But I begin my training with my new IBOs and new people with the question, are you comfortable learning new things? Are you comfortable learning new things? And the reason why I frame it that way is because humans, for the most part, are really not comfortable learning new things. Okay? Most people get very, very comfortable set in our ways. There's what's called the comfort zone. Everybody familiar with the comfort zone? Yes. Your goals and dreams live just outside of your comfort zone. So the car that you're driving it because it's within your comfort zone. But if you want something nicer, you need to step beyond your comfort zone. Does that make sense? Yes. Now, whenever you do something new you've never done before, is everybody aware that it's both exciting and scary? Yes. I remember kindergarten. Scared the hell out of me. I thought, my mom's going to leave me? Well, what if I need her, or what if something happens? And kindergarten, once I got familiar with it, was like the greatest. We got to play in the sandbox, and they read us stories, and we played with blocks, and it was nap time. How many of you wouldn't mind trading kindergarten for the life that we have now? Just give me nap time, you know? Right? And then from there, I had to go into first grade. And then eventually we got to go into high school. And high school, wow. You go from being the kingpin in one school to being the low man on the totem pole in the next, and then you go on to university, and you go on to your first job, and then you go on. So life is all about exciting and scary, exciting and scary. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when you're excited, we want you to share with information with other people. When you're scared, we want you to reach out and hold our hand and borrow our trust and our faith. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. So going back to the reason why I got started with the business, those of you who don't know my background, I come from the world of advertising. I produced a few Super Bowl commercials. I won awards. I ran very large productions, had a blessed career, 3 amazing children, was living in Pacific Palisades, had again, my life, I designed it. But unfortunately, there were certain circumstances that I didn't design. For example, I wasn't expecting 9/11 to happen. Who was expecting 9/11? None of us. I wasn't expecting the Screen Actors Guild strike to show up. I mean, I woke up one Monday morning, and as a result of the strike, I had to go to work in Canada, Mexico, or Brazil. Now, if I was single, I was like, yeah, let's go. But I had 3 kids, and I had a lot of responsibility. And so imagine if you woke up and you had to go to another country in order to do your job and leave your family. Now, the strike lasts approximately 9 months. Imagine being away from your young children when they're 4, 3, and 1 year old. And the strike lasted 9 months. It devastated our industry. It was a real challenge for our family. But most importantly, it forced me to wake up. Now, let me ask you a question. We all live in California, right? Now, is there an earthquake coming, or is there an earthquake coming? It's not a question of if, it's a matter of when. Now, when the ground starts to shake, notice that shake. Who's going to be prepared for it? The majority of people will not, even though we know it's coming. So when the earthquake in your life shows up, and we don't know how it's going to show up, but it will show up, will you be prepared? That is the question. And so ACN is your method and your mechanism to be better prepared for the future. Now, when is the best time to plan your future? Now or sometime in the future? Now. And that is the purpose of ACN. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So first thing I want you to understand is what ACN is not. Okay? And again, there was a Super Bowl recently. I'm not really a football fan. I like all sports when it comes down to the final games, but I'm a hockey player. I never really played football, so I was never really truly interested in it. But hockey, that's a whole other story. So it's about understanding the game that we're playing. Okay, and ACN is a game. Your life is a game. Okay, I like the fact that you have a journal. If you're just getting started, you definitely want to have a journal. I have my journal, and I'm going to be actually training from my journal in a little bit, right? But the first thing that you need to understand is what ACN is not, okay? We are not door-to-door salespeople. We are not salesmen, okay? So when people get started, sometimes they think, do I have to be a salesman? No. We are the antithesis. We are the exact opposite salesperson. We actually give people what they want. Now, the reason why you don't want to come across as a salesperson, the reason why you don't want to be a salesperson is because how many people love to be sold? Nobody loves to be sold, but everybody loves to buy. So if you learn that you're just giving people what they want, you're pointing them in the direction, you're giving them a better choice, now all of a sudden people are going to gladly receive the information. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so rather than being a salesman, you are a lifesaver. I'm not talking about the little circle with the hole in it. I'm talking about somebody who brings value to other people's lives. Now, I thank God every day for Stacy, my friend who introduced me to ACN, calling me on a Saturday afternoon. I remember, it was 13 years ago, but I remember clear as it was yesterday. I was standing in my kitchen, I was having a conversation with Stacy, and she said, Steve, hey, are you open to making more money? Imagine if an employee of yours called you and said, hey, are you open to making more money? What would you say?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's open to making more money. That's a stupid question. She says, I know, you got to hear about this. Now, back then, we were marketing long distance. Who's excited about long distance, right? I didn't dream of growing up to be a long distance salesperson. But she said, hey, look, there's changes going on in the telecom industry. There's a bunch of money on the table. You got to hear what's going on. And I heard a conversation that made me want more information. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how many people in America would like to make more money?
Everybody.
Everybody. How many people pay utility bills? Everybody. And how many people in America are familiar with what's going on with global energy deregulation, the largest redistribution of wealth in the history of the world? Nobody knows what's going on except for Bill Gates knows and Warren Buffett know, and a lot of major business people know, but the average person doesn't know. So you're a lifesaver because you get the opportunity to share with individuals information that has the ability to transform their lives. So you need to take that responsibility, that task with significant responsibility. Make sense?
Yes.
So you're a lifesaver. But more importantly, you're an entrepreneur. Okay, that's a really powerful word. Now, entrepreneurs, if you don't know what that means, entrepreneurs are the individuals that created this country. The chair that you're sitting on right now was created by an entrepreneur. The building that we're in right now was built by an entrepreneur. The technology that we utilize and we take for granted was created by entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs advance all aspects of life and technology. And so you are an entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is you are a business owner and you are responsible for the advancement of your life. You are responsible for the advancement of technology. You're responsible for the advancement of your family. And so there are certain hats that we need to wear when we're launching our business. But you are a business owner. And you know the distinct difference between being a business owner and being an employee? Okay? The distinct difference, as I would define it, is employees identify problems, entrepreneurs and business owners solve problems. Write that down. As an entrepreneur, I am a problem solver. Where other people see problems, we see solutions. Where other people see problems, we see opportunities. Does that make sense? Okay? So it's really important that you're aware of what ACN is, what we are not, and your role in the equation. Now, again, our goal is to help you learn and follow the steps to be successful. Okay? Now, there are certain things that you need to do in order to be successful in ACN. Okay? So the first thing you need to do is you need to become a great student. Anybody do really, really well in school? You know, I had to work hard. I was a C student until I found something that I really enjoyed. And then all of a sudden I became a B+ and an A student. So you need to become a student of this business. You need to become an entrepreneurial student, okay? And if you become a good entrepreneur, you'll never work a day in your life. You will transform your family tree and your family future forever, or you can just keep staying on as an employee and be an average Joe. If you could be extraordinary or average in today's economy in the future, who would you like to be? Extraordinary or average? Extraordinary. Welcome to the Matrix family. Yeah. This is an environment where we invite people and we teach them how to become extraordinary or live into the greatness that they possess already. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you want to operate on a high, very high level of excellence. Everybody understand what excellence means? When you show up, how do you show up? Do you show up from a place of excellence? Or do you show up average? How do you dress, right? And again, tonight is kind of casual, okay? Last night we're wearing suits and ties, we're suited and booted. But again, you always want to show up above average. You never want to be dressing down. Even if you're going to the gym, dress properly, right? If you're going to dress up properly, if you're going to dress casually, sport coat, nice shirt, you always want to dress up so that way when everybody looks at you, they're always looking, you know, that guy's got something going on, right? See, because you want people to look at you and say, I don't know what they're up to, but they're up to something. I want to know what's going on. That make sense? And so as a student, as a person operating from excellence, you want to become a student in leadership. Number one, write that down. I must become a student of leadership. And the reason why that is because everything rises and falls based on leadership. Everything. Sports organizations, corporations, countries, military, nonprofit organizations. Everything rises and falls based on leadership. And one of the greatest leadership trainers in the entire world, John C. Maxwell, he has a huge endorsement of ACN because of our extraordinary leadership and leadership training programs. The second thing you want to become a student, the second arena that you want to be a student of is in network marketing. No, we are a network marketing company. And so when you join ACN, you are officially in network marketing. Now, if you're like me, I was not familiar with network marketing because I was a traditional business person, traditional advertising, the way most companies run. But I was familiar with Avon because my aunt sold Avon when I was a little boy, right here in Pasadena, one of the biggest and greatest companies in the world. I was familiar with Mary Kay Cosmetics. Okay, I was familiar with a few other companies out there just because I heard about them or I was introduced to them. But with every other network marketing company, what I found was I really wasn't interested because I don't wear makeup. I don't, I'm not into health and wellness. I'm very, very blessed. I've got good health. I've got a good metabolism, so I'm not taking diet pills. I'm not interested in thigh cream. I'm not interested in crazy stuff. As we call it, lotions and potions and bulletproof pantyhose and magic juice in the rainforest and all this crazy stuff, which, again, I'm not knocking those companies, but what I do know is that for the most part, I was never interested in any of those companies. But the reason why I jumped on board with ACN was because it just made sense. And so what I know is that every other person that's in every other network marketing company all around the world, every one of them utilize the products that we market. Phone, internet, television, gas, electricity. What I guarantee is most of those individuals in the other companies, that if they were not making money off of the product that they are selling, they probably wouldn't be taking it either. Does that make sense? And so again, you want to become a student of network marketing, and the more you become a student of network marketing, the more powerful ACN becomes, because again, at the end of the day, it just makes sense. So there are a couple books that you want to read. You want to add these to your library. The first is called Your First Year in Network Marketing. The authors are Mark and Renee Yarnell. This is a textbook for network marketing. It will warn you and prepare you for your first year in network marketing. Your first year in network marketing. Okay? And so there's another book that you want to read. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is the rich man's Bible. Multi-millionaires have been documented having read it over 11 times. The majority of multi-millionaires have read Think and Grow Rich over 11 times. There are a number of books. Again, Mr. Nelson will continue to recommend, but those two are books that you definitely need to add to your library and start reading them beginning now. Okay? Now, you also want to become a student of ACN. Okay? Now, within ACN, there's countless training events that are going on. There's lots of videos online. There's no shortage of information that is available to you to learn about the company that you've partnered up with. And the distinction with learning about ACN is a company that is evolving, okay? And meaning it's constantly adjusting because the marketplace is constantly adjusting. As I joined the business 13 years ago, we were marketing long distance and dial-up internet. Who's excited about dial-up? They say it's the wave of the future, right? Now again, at one point, dial-up was not exciting because then we moved into high-speed internet. We moved into cell phones. We moved into all these other companies. And as ACN continued to grow and expand, the offering and the leadership and everything within it, including the compensation plan, continued to evolve. Okay? So everybody's familiar with a little company called Apple?
Yes.
Now, if you studied the history of Apple, you would learn an awful lot. Now, how many people would have liked to have been at the beginning of Apple? Okay. How many of you would have liked to have been a participant in Apple when Steve Jobs was being fired and they were on the verge of bankruptcy? Is that the Apple that you would have wanted to join? Heck no. When everybody said Apple's going down, right? So again, every company has a history, okay? Every business, again, you as a business owner, it's critically important that you understand this. Every business has what's called the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay? Every business. If you own a cafe, there's a good and there's a bad and there's an ugly to running a cafe. If you own a car wash, good, bad, and ugly. If you own a real estate appraisal company, a good, bad, and ugly. If you're a producer, you run a production company, good, bad, and ugly. In ACN, There's a good, there's a bad, and there's an ugly. We're going to teach you about this, right? The most important thing is that you get ACN, and network marketing is not perfect. It's just better. I run a global company, operational in 16 different countries, generating money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it costs me $499. I do have to pay $149 every year to keep it active. That's my licensing fee. But that's pretty much it. Now, when I ran my own production company, I was spending over $3,000 a month just to rent a small office. That was more than my entire ACN business for the last 13 years in 1 month. So when you understand the power, see, ACN is a business with zero risk, zero liability, unlimited income potential, no employees, no overhead, and you can do whatever you want. It's a business without borders. So it's critically important that you study ACN as well and understand, why do sports pros jump on board? I mean, Todd Stottlemyre, 3-time World Series winning pitcher with the Toronto Blue Jays, jumped on board with ACN. Okay? He's a regional vice president with our company. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have high-powered executives, we have kids that worked in Starbucks, now senior vice presidents making crazy money. Now, what business allows that entire spectrum to be successful? That's why you need to study ACN, to find the magic, right? The Tinkerbell fairy dust. It allows you to fly, right? Got it. So in ACN, we're looking for people that can make a decision. We're looking for people that can make a decision. And then as you're building your business, it's critically important that you understand we're not looking for everyone. Okay? You're surrounding yourself, like we talked about last night, you're looking to surround yourself with people that are strong, people that bring value to your life, and that you bring value to their life. You let people join your team. You don't get them, right? You pick and choose the people that you want to become wealthy with. If you could pick and choose 5 people that you became wealthy with, who would you like to get wealthy with?
Our decision right now.
Would your parents be one of them?
Yeah.
Got it. You have a best friend?
Yeah, but don't trust too many.
Got it. So we're going to surround you with other people. We're going to get some new people in your life, right? So you see, when I got started with the business, I bought a position for my mom, right? Because my dad had passed away, I knew I was going to have to take care of my mom. That position was then going to be part of our wealth strategy for the future. And so again, we're beginning where we are now, but we're going to expand your brain so that you can expand your wealth. Make sense?
Yeah.
We're looking for people who can make a decision. And so, can you make a decision? Ask people that. I'm going to show you something, and I'm going to expect you to make a decision once you've seen it, right? Now, I'm going to play a video right now, okay, the James Adlam clip, okay? And this video, I want you to watch it. Most of you have probably never seen it, but I believe that it's the most powerful clip that ACN has ever produced, okay? Now, we may watch it twice. The first time we're going to watch it, I want you to really just savor the richness of the information. We good to go here? 1 second. Okay. And so let me introduce to who you're going to hear from. His name is James Adlam. I met him when he was an ETT. Okay?
Wow.
He is currently a Circle of Champions Senior Vice President out of Maryland Marketplace.
Yes, we do.
Okay, and we worked together very, very closely as he was doing in Chicago, and that we would make video calls together, and we would support each other's businesses, and we literally grew in the business together. And that's one of the greatest gifts within ACN, is that the relationships that you will develop with people with the highest level of integrity, and they will bring so much value to your life, and you will bring value to their life. And where you'll find yourself within the next 3, 5, 10 years will absolutely blow yourself away. And again, this team here is known for creating extraordinary leaders. There have been more senior vice presidents created from the Matrix family than in any other organization in the world of ACN. So, okay.
That's an easy one to know. Back I was in corporate America, and I hated the grind. I was working 7 hours a week, 8 hours a week. I was freedom driven. You know, my family from Jamaica, I just wanted freedom. That's the reason why my family came here, was for the American dream of being able to do what we wanted when we wanted. Now that's what Mason's giving me, that's the opportunity to do. And when I saw the presentation, within 10 minutes I said, did they just say what I think they just said? And I found myself leaning forward, and I found myself really thinking, like, what if this was as big as they said it was? And what if this thing called residual income was real? What if I could get paid in like 2020 for the work I did in 2005? And I said I'm bored, because to me, you know, I'm sitting here at my company and working 60, 70, sometimes 8 hours a week to generate a number. In ACN, I'm working 10, 15 hours a week to generate the same number. Well, you know, I'm not a math wizard, but I put 2 and 2 together and said, well, if I put more time over here, then I obviously do better than when I was generating over there. I wasn't thinking about necessarily trying to get rich. I knew that if I could replace the same income I was generating full-time in this business, I would get my formula. I got in, I didn't look to the left and look to the right, I just ran as fast as I possibly could. And there was nothing within the system. Every person in our company was a product of the system. And here's the thing about the system. A system makes talent irrelevant. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you can follow a system, you can be successful in a model. They told me how to build my business. They told me how to acquire a customer base. They told me how to teach people the business. They had a support center in case I didn't have the answers, that people would get the answers. That means that the most seasoned veteran in this industry, or the person who's just getting started, you're starting at this level playing field. As long as you can duplicate what's already been in place, anyone can win in this company. You know, we're not a product-driven company. These are services that people already have. They're already paying someone. Think about it like this. You pay your cell phone bill thoughtlessly every month. You pay your energy bill thoughtlessly every month. Someone gets paid from that, or some entity gets paid from that every 30 days. What we're simply saying is, what if you could create a business for yourself, maybe small at first, where you became that entity? It's so logical. It's so obvious. Like, what we do is so obvious. Getting paid on services that people must pay for the rest of their lives. And I love the fact that I get to work with the people I actually like. And these are my friends. We've created a team of people that there's something common about us. We all want more, we want to do more, we want to be more, we want to have more. And we want to help other people be and do and have more as well. The great thing for me is the people that we've been able to help. I love seeing for sale signs come out of the yard. You know, I love seeing a stay-at-home mom who wasn't a stay-at-home mom before she started a business. So to be able to see people gain their lives back, you realize that a lot of people think that's all about money. It's actually not. It's not part of life. And our team is really focused in on helping people develop an amazing part of life.
You see, that is the core of what ACN is all about. Not promising pie in the sky. This is about learning how to have your life work for you and utilize a tool that allows you to accomplish more with the God-given gifts that you were given. That make sense? Yeah. So I'm actually we're gonna watch that one more time, and I'm gonna dissect it for you so that you understand why it is so powerful on a conscious level and on a subconscious level. It's critically important that you understand when we are interacting with people in our business, we function on 2 different levels. There's the conscious level and the subconscious level. Which one is more important? The subconscious level. We make our decisions in the conscious level, but we act on the subconscious level, okay? And if you ever find yourself doing something and you don't really know why you're doing it, it's because your subconscious is in control. right? And your conscious mind is required to go to sleep and shut down for 6 to 8 hours a day. Your unconscious mind never stops. It keeps your heart beating. It keeps your brain functioning. It keeps your body breathing. It keeps your blood pumping. It keeps everything going. And so your subconscious level is so critically important. So if we can just keep the volume down just a little bit lower, because I'm going to point out why this is so powerful. And the reason why I'm doing this for you is I want you to understand the power with effective communication. Because your success is going to live in your ability to effectively communicate thoughts, ideas, sentiments, heart, emotion. When you can pull all of those together and connect the dots for people, you will be able to move them in a direction that they may not even be aware of themselves. Okay? So here we go. We're going to play this again.
That's amazing about my life. My background's in corporate America.
Learning about what ACN has to offer.
I hated the grind. You know,
I'm overworked.
Hours a week and hours a week. I was freedom driven. You know,
The plight of the immigrant.
I just wanted freedom.
Design my
That's the
life.
reason why my family came here was for the American dream of being able to do what we wanted when we wanted. And now that's what ACE's given me. That's the opportunity.
Now I have freedom.
And when I saw the presentation, within 10 minutes, I said, did they just say what I think they just said?
They said,
And I found
is this
myself
real?
moving forward. I found myself really thinking, like, what if this was as big as they said it was? And what if this thing called residual income was real? What if I could get paid in like 2020
Power of residual income.
2005? And I just got on board because to me, here's what I look at.
Made a
You know, I'm sitting
decision.
here at my company, I'm working 60, 70, sometimes 80 hours a week.
I can keep doing what I'm doing.
In ACN, I'm 10 to 15 hours a week.
Working smarter,
to
not
generate
harder.
a number. Well, you know, I'm a math wizard, but I put 2 and 2 together.
I'm not that
So,
smart, but
more time
I'm smart enough
over
to
here
get this.
than I received you better than what I was generating over there. I wasn't thinking about necessarily trying to get rich.
I want to
I
get rich.
knew that if I could replace the same income I was generating full time in this business, I'd get my funded money.
Working
I got
smarter,
in, I
not harder.
didn't look to the left, I didn't look to the right.
Focus.
Ran as fast as I possibly could.
Focus. Focus.
And it was nothing more than the system.
It's a
Every
system.
person in our company
Like
was a
done.
part of the system. And here's the thing about the system. A system makes talent irrelevant. You know, it doesn't matter how much
Nothing
talent you
special about
have. If you
me.
can follow a
Self-doubt.
system, you can be successful in the model. They told me how to build my business. They told me how to acquire a
coachable.
customer base. They told me how to teach people the business. They had a support center in case I didn't have the answers, the people get the answers.
I got that
That means
support.
that the most seasoned veteran in this industry or the person who's just getting started, you're starting at this level playing field.
Level
As
playing.
long as you can duplicate what's already been in place, anyone can win in this company. You know, we're not a product-driven company.
Not like
These
what
are
you think
services
it
that
is.
people already have. They're already paying someone. Think about this. You pay your cell phone bill, for instance, thoughtlessly every
Paying
month.
these
You pay
bills.
your energy bill thoughtlessly every month. Someone gets paid from that. or
Somebody's
some
making
entity gets paid from that every 30 days. What we're simply saying is, what if you could create a business for yourself, maybe small at first, where you
Small
became
at
that
first.
entity?
Realistic.
It's so logical. It's so obvious. Like, what we do is so obvious. Getting paid on services that people must pay for the rest of their lives. And I love the fact that I get to work with the people I actually like. And these are my friends. We've created a team of people that there's something common with all of us. We all want more. We want to do more. We want to be more. We want to have more.
You do
So
have
we want to help other people be, do, and have more as well.
People, you've been able to help.
I love seeing for sale signs come out of the office. You know, I love
Changing
seeing
lives.
a stay-at-home mom who wasn't a stay-at-home mom before she started the business. So to be able to see people gain their lives back, you realize that a lot of people think that's all about money, but it's actually not.
Not about money.
And
Your
our
life.
team is refocused in on helping people develop an amazing quality of life.
Amen. Got it? That is why it's so powerful, is it literally hits everything that's important in our lives. That's why I love that clip over every other clip. Make sense? And when you meet James Adler, when you meet him, you are going to be blown away because this man has power. Again, he started off, as I met him, as an ETT. And he floundered, and he was challenged, and he thought of quitting, but he stuck with it. And he grew through the challenges and the changes. And eventually, he became where he is, right?
Right.
So I don't know what challenges you're going to endure, but as long as you stay focused on the end result, you can make it through anything. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Got it. Is that powerful for you guys?
Yes.
All righty. So so when you're getting started in the business, we talked about this last night. Number one, we're just looking for people to make a decision. I'm in or I'm out. If people can't make a decision, you don't want them in your business. You make the decision for them. Right? Do you want to pay or get paid? Do you want to make money with me, or am I going to help you save money on your bills? If they can't make a decision, say, just be a customer. I don't have time to sit around and wait. You keep moving forward. Because the people that can't make a decision, it's because they just don't know. And leaders, we're looking for leaders. Leaders make decisions quickly, and they change their minds slowly. You think about how it was for you. Awful on it? Did you sit around? Oh, I don't know. Gee, that sounds good. Well, maybe I should, I shoot people, right? Is because if they're on the fence, they're going to get shot. So just get rid of them. Sign them up as a customer, right?
Right.
So make a decision. We're going to help people get qualified. When you're getting started, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to get qualified. The person you're working with, your upline team coordinator, executive team trainer, executive team leader, somebody's going to sit down with you, launch your business, get your online storefront set up. It's simple. It's easy. Just do it. And when you do that, you sign up your services. You get qualified right away. And again, like I said last night, it takes, your goal is to be qualified within 24 to 48 hours. If you're not qualified in 24 to 48 hours, you should probably get out of the business. Because it's not complicated. And so sometimes people, they get confused because, well, I'm in a contract for my cell phone. Now, for one person that's employee-minded, they say, oh, well, I can't do anything about it because that's a problem. What do entrepreneurs? We solve problems. That's not a problem. We're going to eliminate your contract. Why did you sign that contract anyhow? Right?
Right.
Why would you do that? That just doesn't make sense. Right? So now you need to start thinking differently. Now you're an IBO. You're a business owner. Let me ask you a question. Anybody drive a car? Do you buy gasoline for your car? Now, if you owned a gas station, would you buy gasoline differently than if you were just somebody who drove and owned a car?
Yeah.
You'd buy gasoline in tens of thousands of gallons because you're in the business. So you need to be thinking, when you join the telecom business, even though you don't have a home phone, do you think that you should be familiar with the product that you're bringing to the marketplace?
Yeah.
And sometimes people ask me, they say, well, home phones, I don't even know anybody with a home phone. And I go, yeah, that may be true, but it's still a $35 billion industry in North America.
All right.
So I know you're part of the future and you don't have a home phone, but there's a whole bunch of money and we're going to go after it. Okay? And so again, it's about knowing your product and knowing what's available. Okay? And again, I recommend you get a digital phone. Why? Because digital phone service, if people are going to have a phone, it should be a digital phone. It's unlimited. It's a business write-off for you. It's going to allow you to market your product. Carry, demo, display. Carry, demo, display. If you show people how the product works and they see value, they're going to buy that. But if you don't show it to them and you don't know how it works, I can guarantee you they're not going to buy it. Right? And if you don't ask the question, the answer will always be no. So with cell phone, if you have a brand new cell phone, if you've got the brand new iPhone 6, what that tells me about you is you bought into their bullshit. Somebody said you need to have the next iPhone 6. I personally would never buy an iPhone 6. Do you know why? I'm excited about the iPhone 9. They tell me it's going to be amazing. I come from the world of advertising. They didn't get the iPhone 6 into the marketplace until they'd sold off just about most of the iPhone 5s.
Right.
And then they brought it out. See, the next technology is already done. And they could bring it out now, but they've already invested a bunch of money, so they need to take all their money back from you. We're going to sign you up in a contract. We're going to give it to you for free, and we're going to take the money. We're going to charge you double over the next 2 years.
That's right.
Now, you see, you don't believe, right? See, again, understand that in the world of marketing and advertising and lying, legally lying, you know, say, well, I'm in a bundle. Well, do you realize why the bundle was created? Oh, it's designed to save you money. No, I'm sorry. This stands for I love you in a Jesus way. It means you're really not that intelligent, but I still love you. Okay? The point is this, is the bundle was introduced because they knew market research told them if you put 3 services on one bill, your chances of those people leaving you is slim to none. So we're going to put you on three services on one bill. We're going to tell you it's cheaper. So you think it's cheaper, but in actuality, it's more expensive. If you break up the bundle, then you get to see, you go, why am I doing that? But you see, people have been conditioned. So me, I still have my Samsung 3, okay? Works great. It's a workhorse. I dropped my iPhone, it broke several different times. I've tried to break this, I can't. And I have 2 of these phones. I have one for when I travel internationally and one for when I'm here domestically. And the benefit to having 2 of these phones is I've got interchangeable batteries. Why would I want to change? Why would I want to upgrade my phone when this works perfectly? And it's just, you know, it's like my accountant said when I said, well, I'm making more money. Should I buy a new car? And he said, well, Steve, anything above a Kia is all ego. So whatever you want to drive, it's fine with me. And when he said that, it was like, ouch. But it was true. The point is you don't need a new car. You don't need a new phone. You need a phone that functions and works and functions within your budget. I know people that are homeless that have really fancy phones. They don't have a car, but they got a fancy phone. They're on welfare and they're got that fancy phone. That just doesn't make sense. So our job is to make sense. So the services that we offer, you should be marketing and utilizing your own services. Does that make sense? And you may need to pay a little bit of money to get yourself out of a contract. By the way, when you pay that money, that too is a business write-off. It's called a loss leader. Okay? It's called a loss leader. We have to spend money to save money. We need to spend money to make money. If you owned a hot dog cart, you spend $5,000 on the hot dog cart. Would you buy hot dogs? Or would you just go, I already invested $5 grand. I got mustard. What else do I need? Oh, I need sodas. I need buns. I need hot dogs. If I'm going to be selling hot dogs, I need to constantly be buying hot dogs so I can sell them. Make sense? So again, you are a business owner. Think like a business owner. Get some extra phones so that when people want to buy them, you're all set up. You know, there's lots of options for you when you come from the problem-solving mechanism. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Got it. So you're going to get qualified. If you may be on a TV contract or something like that, figure out how to get yourself out of it, right? If you're with DirecTV right now and you love DirecTV, fantastic. Call them up and say, I love you, but I'm leaving you. Thank you so much. Right? And you see, sometimes people get confused because they're with an existing provider and they somehow think that provider really cares about them. Right? And so if you really want to know how much your provider cares about you, take a look at your bill and you'll realize you're probably being overcharged. And then if you really want to find out how much they love you, call them up and threaten to leave them. Because they love you so much and you're threatening to leave them, they'll lower your bill. Do you really want to be with a company that waits until you threaten to leave them before they give you the value you deserve?
No.
It's a bad relationship. Codependency. I'm lost without my direct TV. Right? And so may as well start making money off of your own services, because somebody's making money off of you. Don't you think you should be one of them?
Yeah.
And until you make a change, nothing will change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So on all the different services, figure out what you got to do. Be your own customer. You will sleep much better knowing that you are supporting your own business. And again, don't expect other people to support your business if you aren't willing to support it yourself. Does that make sense? Fantastic. So we're getting qualified right away. The third step in your success, again, first is make a decision. Second is get your online storefront set up. Get qualified right away. Third is make a list of 100 people. Now, we all know 100 people. Sometimes people tell me, oh, I don't know 100 people. I say, well, were you in first grade? Yeah. How many kids were in your first grade class? 30. Great. Did you ever play sports? Yes. How many kids were on the team? Were you married? Did you get married? Yeah. How many people were at your wedding? 150. Great. Did you know any of them? Right? So we all know at least 100 people. We know thousands of people. So when you make a list of 100 people, now you're going to begin sorting through the list to identify the people that are either save money on their bills or make money. Okay? It's very simple. And as you're going through your list, everybody will fall into one of three categories. We call them red apples. Okay? Red apples are people who are positive and optimistic. I've been told that I'm positive and optimistic. Have you ever been told that you're positive and optimistic? Or, man, you're just fun to hang out with, right? You spend 80% of your time with people that are positive and optimistic. The second type of people on your list, I guarantee they're on there, they're going to be called green apples, okay? Now, they have a lot of questions, and they're skeptical, right? Now, sometimes people with a lot of questions are also skeptical. You can't be both, okay? They oftentimes are broke as well. You can't be broke and skeptical. Right? So the thing is there's nothing wrong with people that have a lot of questions as long as they truly want to get the information, okay? Because if people are skeptical, then you want to put them in the environment where their skepticism can either be validated or devalidated. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So again, we like those people, but we don't want you to spend a whole bunch of time with them. So you're going to spend 80% of your time with people who are positive and optimistic. You're going to spend 20% of your time with people who are green apples, have questions, okay? I have what's called a 2-question or 2-minute rule. You answer 2 questions or you spend 2 minutes with them. After that, you just go for them as a customer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're not willing to come here to get the information. Do they really want to get the information? No. Right? Now, the last type of people on your list, and I guarantee they're on your list, they're called rotten apples or brown apples, for those of you who want to be politically correct. Now, again, brown apples and rotten apples, they're people that are negative and pessimistic. Now, the good thing is they wake up every morning and that's the way they are. That's the way they woke up. That's the way they'll go to bed. Tomorrow, they'll be the exact same. You cannot change them, so don't try to change them. Okay? Allow them to be. Allow them to be, right? Now, one of the things that's sometimes challenging for us as individuals and as leaders is that our brown apples, our rotten apples, oftentimes show up as our family and friends, okay? Now, sometimes you may kiss a rotten apple goodnight. Now, you have to be very, very cautious in this environment, okay? And that's when you reach out to your upline and they say, well, how do I deal with this, right? So nonetheless, the point is everybody on your list of 100 people will be a red apple, a green apple, or a rotten apple. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Allow them to be what they are. Your job is to go through and sort, okay? Because imagine if we are picking apples, there's a huge apple orchard, 1,000 apple trees in the apple orchard, and your job is to fill one basket with apples. You have a couple choices. You can go after the easy ones that are closest to you and low hanging, or you can go, oh, I know where there's a great apple. It's on the other side of the orchard on the top of the tree. I need a ladder, and you run to the other side of the orchard, to set up the ladder, to climb to the very, very top of the furthest tree to get, no. When you're building your customer base, you want to go fast. When you're building your team, you want to go fast. Because when does your life begin?
Now.
How quickly do you want to make money?
Now.
Don't slow yourself down. Right? Or it may be easier for somebody who's 7 feet tall that's going to join your team to just reach up there and grab it. Make sense? So rather than spending 100 minutes with one person, we're going to spend 1 minute with 100 people. And the conversation is very, very simple. Hey, look, I'm working on a very, very special project, and I thought about you. Are you open to making more money? Fantastic. We need to get together. What are you doing tomorrow at 6:30? Great. Let's get together. Bye. Right?
Yep.
The question is are you open to making more money? Don't refer to an opportunity. Don't refer to it as a business. I just joined network marketing. Any of those things, again, it's not that we want to avoid that, but again, we just want to put people in the environment where they can make an educated decision. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, would you ask a friend of yours who knows nothing about brain surgery whether you need brain surgery? No. You want to put people in the environment so that way they can get the information, right? You want to put them with somebody who can field the questions, right? So you're going to spend 1 minute with 100 people, and ultimately the question comes down to, are you hungry? Now, I didn't have dinner tonight. Anybody not have dinner tonight? Okay. So if I asked you, are you hungry, what would you say?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, if you say, it depends, what are you serving? Are they really hungry? No. They're, I could eat or maybe it doesn't matter. But somebody who's really hungry, they just, yes, I'm hungry, right? And so your ability to effectively communicate that you've got an offer on the table, that's where you're coming from, okay? So, does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so ultimately we want people to make a decision. We want them to fill out the application. We want them to understand the system. And again, there are 3 initials that are critically important in your success and everybody that joins your team's success. I'm Steve. What's your name?
Orlando.
Orlando. ¿Tú hablas español?
Sí.
Excelente. Necesito líderes para la expansión de todo Latin America. Are you up for the journey?
Claro.
Fantastic. Okay. So now, would it be okay if those of us who don't speak Spanish eventually built a team into the rest of the world?
Yes.
So the key is if you systemize and everything you do is done within the framework of the system. Anybody ever been to Switzerland and been to McDonald's in Switzerland? With the exception of the price being like $16 for a Big Mac. I didn't understand it because it looked the same, but the price was definitely different. But systems are the same, and everything that we do is about system duplication, system duplication, system duplication. So if you systemize everything you do and you focus on duplicating, getting 3 people up and running, and we teach them to do the same thing, system and duplication, you'll build a very, very strong team. So the system that we use in the Matrix family is called QPN. Write that down. QPN. Q stands for qualified. When you get started in the business, you need to be qualified within 24 to 48 hours. If you are not, we may ask you to leave the team. Okay? And you be strong. First day at university, everybody shows up for class, those that are committed. Now, if the teacher shows up, you know what? This is going to be an extraordinary year, and if you guys want to show up for class, great. Or if you don't want to show up for class, that's great too. I'll pass everybody. How many people show up for class? None. None. Right? The people that are serious, that understand the value of the class would, but they're the ones that are going to be successful no matter what. So within what we're doing, you want to lay out the foundation. Say, look, if you want to be successful on my team, this is what you're going to need to do. You need to show up for class if you want to win. You know, anybody in sports, you know, if you don't show up for practice, don't expect to play. Some kids, they just go, oh, no, I don't want to go to practice. I just want to play in the game. You ain't going to make it. You ain't going to make it. Military. I don't want to go through boot camp. I just want to show up and shoot some people. No, you ain't going to make it. Right? So qualified right away. Number 2 stands for PBR, or private business reception. Now this is where system and duplication goes on steroids. Okay? Because what sounds better? Doing 10 one-hour meetings or having one meeting with 10 people at it? One meeting with 10 people. You see, ACN is designed for busy people. So we're teaching you how to leverage your time, leverage your efforts, leverage your company. Leverage is where your wealth will come from. So what we want to do is we want to schedule a meeting for you, and we're going to do this when you're first getting started within your first 48 to 72 hours. Okay? And how we do that is when we're getting you launched. During your launch meeting, we're going to get you qualified, and we're going to set 2 specific times. We're going to start making phone calls at the end of your launch. And we're going to call 3 to 5 people and schedule an appointment. So we're going to, you know, afterwards, you're going to call, and you're going to have a list of a few people, right? And you're going to call Larry, okay? Paul, will you be Larry?
Sure.
Hey, well, I'll call you Paul, not Larry. That's confusing. Why is he calling Paul Larry? Hey, Paul, how are you? It's Steve. I don't have a lot of time. I just have a minute, but I'm glad I caught you. Hey, what are you doing tomorrow at 6:30?
Nothing planned. Why? What's up?
I'm actually working on a project. I want to run the numbers by you. Okay, I know you're going to be really excited, so you definitely sit down with me tomorrow. Okay?
Absolutely.
At my office. Okay? So I didn't ask him. I told him. Okay? And again, if he asks a bunch of questions, what's he telling me? He's agreeing now. And I'm going to take it away. Okay? So again, now Paul, play again, and so now you're busy, okay? Hey, Paul, look, I'm really busy right now, but I'm glad I caught you. What are you doing tomorrow at 6:30?
Taking the wife out for dinner.
Oh, she's a lucky woman. So what are you doing? What are you doing on tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. What are you doing Friday evening, 8:30?
I'm open.
Great, terrific. Let's get together on Friday at 8:30. I'm going to run some numbers by. I know you're going to be really excited when I share something with you. Okay. So if he's not available, I may say, hey, is there any way you can change your plans? Because he told me he's taking his wife out, and I know his wife. I'm not going to ask him to change the plan. Now, if I knew his wife and his wife was kind of entrepreneurial or whatever, I might say, hey, look, can I get together with you and Jackie for about 30 minutes before you go out for dinner? It'll be well worth your time. Okay? So depending upon who you're talking to, right? But you want to invite him to one meeting or the next. And so within calling 5 people, you should be able to get 2 meetings scheduled. And then once you've got one meeting scheduled at 5:30, now you call everybody you know and you say, hey, what are you doing tomorrow at 5:30? What are you doing tomorrow at 5:30? What are you doing tomorrow at 5? You give them 2 options. If they say, I'm not available at this, is there any way you can change your schedule? Is there any way you can clear your schedule? They say no. You say, tell you what about Friday at 8:30? I can do Friday at 8:30. Fantastic. If they're not available at either of them, you go, no problem. I'm going to call you back later on. Bye. Money doesn't sleep 24 hours a day. Okay? So when you apply this, and now you schedule your home meeting, and you invite people to your home, you invite people to your office, again, depending upon what your situation, we want to get in front of as many people as physically possible so that the sorting process happens fast. Make sense?
Yeah.
And again, what we know is that the numbers will be the numbers. If you put this information in front of 10 people, 3 of them will be interested, 3 of them will have questions, and 3 of them want to become a customer, and 1 will not know. Just what we know. And we're going to let each one of them decide which one they are. Your job is to put them in front of the information. Our job is to present. Theirs is to decide. You invite, we present, they decide. You invite, we present, they decide. Make sense?
Yeah.
So qualified and again, if you do 2 meetings with 10 people within your first 72 hours, guess what? Now you've got people in the mix, and let the leadership team and let the opportunity carry those people forward. Make sense? Because some people are going to go, wow, I really want to get started in the business, but I got to wait for my tax return. No problem. You keep moving forward. Okay? Because the first 3 people in, they're the big winners as you're building your team. Okay? Fear of loss. People will be moved when they realize they're going to be losing out. Okay? Sale ends Monday. Sale ends Monday. Sale ends Monday. Don't you dare show up on Tuesday and ask for that sale. It's over. The first 3 positions, they are gone within the first 7 days. You hit executive team trainer within your first 7 days. You're qualified. You now have money on the way. Who's excited about your opportunity? Right? Don't treat it casually. The gas pedals on the right. Don't drive with your foot on the brake and the gas pedal saying, well, I just want to be a little bit more comfortable. That's that comfort zone. Okay? Everything you want lives just beyond your comfort zone. Your dream house, your car, all of your time with your children, taking your family on a vacation, transforming your family tree forever. It's just beyond your comfort zone. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay? So N. N stands for National Convention. Okay? Now we are going to recommend that you go to the National Convention. We're going to recommend that you go to the National Convention. Now you remember when we talked about you being coachable? What does coach mean? We can do it. People want to be successful. You all must and will attend the National Convention. Why do you think we are so adamant about you going to the National Convention? How many people do you think hit regional vice president without going to the National Convention?
Nobody.
None. How many people do you think hit team coordinator without going to the National Convention? None. It is mathematically, physically, emotionally impossible to reach any level of success within the business, true success, without attending the National Convention. Who's a doctor? No, doctor. It gets so confusing when you have so many doctors. Is there a doctor in the house, right? Now, do you know anybody that didn't go to med school?
No.
I didn't go to med school.
Well, yes, I did. People who didn't, but
Okay.
no doctors.
I don't know any doctors that didn't, okay? So imagine if you were going to have surgery, something serious up in your life, and you had the choice of 2 doctors. One of them went to med school. And one of them was like that guy that was in Catch Me If You Can. Do you concur? Yes, I concur. Who would you want operating on you? The person that actually attended med school or the person that watched a lot of TV? Right? You'd want the doctor, even if it was a dermatologist, they would have more going for them than somebody who did. Okay? So again, the reason why we're adamant about you attending the National Convention is we know that it is the key. You can suck at pretty much everything else in ACN, but if you go to the National Convention, it's possible for you to be successful. Make sense? Okay. And so, and the reason why I am so committed to all of you going to the National Convention is because I've been around the world and I've seen people I've offered to double and triple people's money if they went to the National Convention and if they didn't think it was the greatest, I would give them double or triple their money back, right? I've offered that to thousands and thousands of people in pretty much every country I've ever trained in. Do you know how many people have ever asked for their money back?
None.
Not one. It's like, this is like Ginsu knives on steroids, You get this and you get this, money back guarantee, right? No, once you go to the National Convention, you will understand what ACN is really all about, right? And so, Sandra, would you do me a favor? And did you go to the last National?
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
Would you do me a favor? Would you just share with everybody what you experienced at the national convention?
So I'll stand. It was like being at a Madonna concert. Like Madonna, Beyonce, like.
Do you
it-
like Madonna first
Yeah,
off?
no,
Okay.
yeah, it was like, I mean, literally, it was like that. It was like being like, Madonna, imagine Madonna and Michael Jackson on the same stage. Like that, that's kind of how it was. And you're just kind of like, the thing that made it interesting though is that you don't think it's going to be that way. Like when you go to the Madonna concert, when you go see Beyonce, you kind of expect that there's going to be like this amazing show. But this was like, this is business. This isn't supposed to be like excitement and like it wasn't, you know, so it was just very, and we got a lot of practical information, and it was very uplifting. It was very affirming. It was very, possibility was just flowing throughout the building, and people were lit up by what was possible for them and for their lives, and there was a lot of distinction in terms of, you know, work ethic, and like, it's not hard. It's really not hard. Or I'll say this, it's not difficult. It's very simple, but it is hard. Hard in the sense that it's you have to be someone that you've never been before. Like you have to actually step into someone that you've never ever, like you want. And the thing about this program is that like you actually walk out of here not recognizing yourself, and that's kind of what they are communicating to you at the national. And so it's just like I don't want to say it's like life changing, because and then you go back to your real life and things creep in. That's why this is so important, because the minute that you start to feel like, oh, I don't think this is gonna happen, or there's some things I'm dealing with right now in the business. I come here and it's like, wow, like you guys re-energize me, and I think the national is like that regeneration, but like times 20.
Yeah.
See, what happens is, and I appreciate the way he framed that. You see, when you are in the environment, you begin to realize your greatness. God doesn't make junk. God did not design for us as a nation or us as individuals to live in poverty. We somehow bought into that we're supposed to be average. Not so. Not so at all. And so again, what happens, and then this is the power with the ACN opportunity, is everybody, myself included, including the co-founders, began with day one in the business. Mr. Nelson, day one, he talks about that story. I remember, I signed up, I joined the team. I was excited and scared. And I was stupid enough to think I could do it, right? Literally, that's what it comes down to. And so what happens is when you surround yourself and then you start thinking, okay, what if, where would I be 5 years from now? So imagine if you could just take a step forward and step into your greatness, and anything you wanted was possible. And that's what we encourage you to do. Because the only thing that stands between you and anything that you choose is time and sustained effort. Right? So I want to help you. Hopefully that helps everybody. Make sense?
Yes.
So the National Convention is not optional. It is mandatory in the path of success. Okay? And again, when you go, if you haven't been, you'll understand when you get there.
Yeah.
Moving forward, everybody that joins your team, it is not optional for them. It is mandatory. Yes, Michelle?
I was going to say,
We made. Would you like to watch the video?
Yes.
Okay. Before I do that, I want to help certain people. How many of you are brand new? Meaning within the last 2 weeks? 1, 2? Okay. I'm going to help you understand. I'm just going to do a really quick demonstration of the compensation plan. Okay. And this is to help anchor what it is that you're building. Okay, and the simplicity of it. Okay, so we understand this business is 2 showing 2 showing 2 showing 2, right? In the example, 2 showing 2 showing 2 showing 2. And there's a universal law at play in the success path that is ACN. Okay, this is why we've been so successful in 24 different countries. Is what's 2 plus 2 in America?
4.
What's 2 plus 2 in Australia?
4.
What's 2 plus 2 in China?
4.
What's 2 plus 2 in London?
4.
They say it with an English accent, but I believe it's 4. Right? The point is that we live by the law of 2 plus 2, and there are laws that apply in this universe, and those laws do not change. Miracles happen, but for the most part, the laws stay the same. Does that make sense? Everybody's familiar with the law of gravity?
Yeah.
Imagine Johnny Lunchbucket, who's homeless and no job, stands on the edge of a building right next to Bill Gates, and they both decide to jump. What happens to the two of them? It's not gonna, Bill might have a hidden parachute, but for the most part, if they take the same action as human beings, the law of gravity will show up. Makes sense? The law of association is another one of those laws. Who you hang out with will determine your future. Guaranteed. Okay? The law of the lid. If you don't grow, your income will not grow. If you don't grow as a leader, your team will not grow. That is why everything is about expanding and becoming a student. Does that make sense? So the way the law of 2 plus 2 works is, your name is?
Giselle.
Giselle. Giselle, I'm Steve. Would you do me a favor? Would you play with me?
Sure.
Stand up. Come on. Okay. So Giselle just recently got started on the team. Fantastic. Congratulations. Round of applause for Giselle. Now, Giselle, do you know what your role is in the beginning?
To build my team.
To build your team, right? So there's a formula. You want to have 25 customers and 2 business partners. 25 and 2. Okay? Make sense? Now you're going to sign up some customers, your own services, and your mother, brother, sister, cousin, neighbor. Okay? We're going to help you with that. And then when we're building your team, you don't want everybody on your team. You just want the right people. Okay? Now, is this a friend of yours?
My sister.
Your sister. Fantastic. And your name again is?
Yvette.
Yvette. Okay, so now again, because you love your sister and you guys have grown together and you want to, okay, so would Yvette be one of your first business partners? Would you like her to be?
Yes.
Now, she gets to decide whether she's going to be or not. But if you had a choice, you can't think of anybody you'd rather get rich with than your sister, correct?
Correct.
Fantastic. So Yvette joins the team. Would you do me a favor and just stand here next to your sister, Yvette? Thank you very much. And so Yvette, you both are joining the business for your own reason why. You may want to have a family and you may want a career or you may want to travel the world, but we all have our different reasons why, okay? You also get to choose somebody else. Now, what is your name?
Cindy.
Cindy. Do me a favor, Cindy. Do you know Giselle?
No.
Got it. Well, now she's your best friend. Okay? You work together, you're in college together, whatever. Do me a favor, you're going to stand right here, okay? So now you have 2 business partners, you built your customer base, okay? Congratulations, you just hit executive team trainer when they get qualified, okay? Okay. So, how many of you see how simple that is? Again, I didn't help her become a senior vice president overnight, I helped her become an ETT. And that's our goal. Our job is to help people become executive team trainers, okay? And so now, do you know what your job is, what your role is? Tell everybody.
To create a team.
Create a team, and your goal is how many customers? 25 customers for the most part, and how many business partners?
2.
2 business partners, okay? So 25 and 2, that's the formula, 25 and 2. And do you know what your role is?
On the team, 25.
25 customers and how many 2 business partners, okay? So everybody understands the simplicity. So would you 2 do me a favor, just stand up. Okay, these are your 2 business partners. This is Orlando, and your name again is? As a name, very unique name, okay? So you're 2 business partners. Now, you know Orlando because you grew up together, and Azane is a friend of yours from college, okay? Now, Azane's gonna, what's your floor? No. In the equation, 25 customers and 2 business partners. What's yours?
25 customers.
2 business partners. Okay, great. Now you're going to sign up your mother, yourself, your mother, brother, sister, cousin. Now you may not know her, but is it okay if you get paid when her mom pays her bill?
Yeah, of course.
Got it. You wouldn't have a problem with that, right?
So nice.
Got it. And you may even help her if she needed help. And she said, you know what, I'm a little confused about this. It's really simple. Here, let's sit down. I'll walk you through the whole process. No big deal. Okay? So you've got your 2 business partners. By the way, you just hit ETT. Congratulations. And then your your job is to identify 2 people. So we're going to have you 2 guys stand up, okay? Tell you what, sit down. I'm going to have you 2, Chet, and your name again is Michael, right? Michael, stand up, okay? So these are friends of yours. This Chet is your neighbor, somebody who you always looked up to and respected because he was an entrepreneur, a businessman. And Michael is somebody that you knew through real estate, okay? Good stuff. Okay, so do you know what your job is?
Yes,
What is it?
25
Customers.
customers and
2 business partners. Okay, great. So you just did ETT. Fantastic. Great. Now, when you get your 3rd business partner, okay, and when you get your 3rd business partners over here, okay, because ultimately your goal, your long-term goal is to hit 3 business partners, not just 2. But in the beginning, we want 2, okay, to get the wheels spinning. Eventually, you're going to get your 3rd business partner. But for this example, we're just going to stick with 2, showing 2, showing 2, because that's a law. Make sense? And again, when these guys sign up, he's going to sign up his brother, by the way, and he's going to send, you're originally from Nigeria, right? He's got a VoIP, he's going to buy a VoIP, and he's going to send it to his family in Nigeria, so that way they can call America, and now you're going to get paid on people using services in Nigeria. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Point is, so now your team is growing. And it's based on a formula called 25 and 2. Okay? So now you're going to earn 1/4% on their customers. You're going to earn up to 10% on your own services, and you're going to earn 1/4% on their services. Okay? Now, do you know how much 1/4% is? It's next to nothing. But if it's hitting your bank account, is that a good thing?
Yes.
You can have 0 or next to nothing. Which one do you want? Next to nothing on your 1st level. Okay? And then now on your 2nd level, you're going to earn 1/4% off of theirs. Now, how much is 1/4%? Next to nothing. But if it's hitting your bank account, it's heading in the right direction. See, because we are gold miners. Okay? See, as we're drilling deeper, you know, when you're digging for gold, anybody ever dug for gold before? It's hard. Really hard. You have to get dirty. You break your nails. It's terrible. But the point is this, is as you're moving dirt around, you're moving dirt and rocks and dirt and rocks. Ah, I found a nugget of gold. Very small. But if there's one piece of gold there, what does that tell you? There's more. And what do I need to keep doing? The dirt and the rocks and the dirt and the rocks and the dirt. There's more gold. Okay. And so now, Chet, you're going to introduce a couple people. And so we're going to speed up the process. So you've got 4 people here. So I'm going to have you 4 stand up, please. Okay, just stand up. You're okay? You want to sit down? Yeah. Okay, great. And can you do me a favor? Can you stand up? So those people that stood up, and I'm going to have 4 more people stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they're on your 1st level, your 2nd level, your 3rd level. Okay, you see how we're making 25 and 2. Okay, and then now we just had 8 people stand up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's have everybody who's sitting down stand up. Now they're on your next level, and those guys you get paid either 1/2%. I'm lost track. It's like 0.5% or 3%. Is that okay? Now you're going to make 3% on all their customers.
Yeah.
And imagine there's another room with twice as many people in here, and they all stood up, and you're going to make, you know, 5% on all their customers. And then another room with twice as many people, and you were going to get paid 8% on all those customers. You see how the power of 25 and 2 can completely transform your life. Make sense?
Yes.
Fantastic. So that's the power of the compensation plan. And if you focus only on 1 or 2 people, you lose the big picture. Make sense? Yes. Fantastic. So round of applause for everybody. So hopefully that helps you. So you're entrepreneurs, okay? You're not salespeople. You're business owners. So that means you have to solve some problems, okay? You're also gold. How many of you, if you had a gold mine in your backyard, would dig for the gold? Everybody in America through ACN has a gold mine in their backyard. All we need to do is keep the business simple. The more you dig, The more you dig, the more money you make. The faster you dig, the faster you make money. You can go fast or you can go slow. This business is much more fun and much more lucrative when you go fast. Does that make sense? So that's basically our training. Okay, so what's critically important is that you get together with the person that got you started, make sure you're qualified. How quickly? 48 hours. Okay, make sure that you've scheduled your appointment, your home meeting. Okay, now again, your home meeting takes priority over your life. Okay, why do I say that? Because in my opinion, there is nothing more important than your freedom. There's nothing more important than your freedom. Unfortunately, in America, the majority of people give more time to their jobs than to their freedoms. They're confused. They're confused. And that's because they're addicted to a paycheck. Okay? They don't understand. You know, a heroin addict will much rather have heroin than food. Okay? Because they don't understand. They've lost control. And so now you're educated. You need to put more emphasis. Your freedom is more important than your job. I'm not saying fire your boss right away. We're going to build an exit strategy for you. But again, as soon as you work, and this is the philosophy you want to adopt, if you work 9 to 5 for your boss, you should be more than willing to work from 5 until 9 for your freedom. So whatever time frame you work, just do the adjustments, 8 to 4, 8 to 5, whatever, then you work from 5 until 8 for your freedom, okay? And it's the consistency of doing it every day that will generate the results that you're ultimately looking for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So on behalf of our leadership team, I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully that's getting started training. That's not the highest level advanced training. The point is that the more you come to the trainings, the more you learn, the more excited you will get. And again, it's a privilege. So the next event that we have going on, so all of your home meetings that we're talking about, you want to be scheduling those for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and everything moves forward. The Tuesday event is geared to as a second exposure. It's most effective as a second exposure. Okay? So you want to be doing great guns, do as much as you can with your home presentations, and everything falls into the Tuesday night. Now, when is Mr. Nelson back? Do we know?
13th.
You don't know?
The 13th.
The 13th. Got it. So when's that?
So, right before the national.
Okay, go. Yes, it is. So on Tuesday, nonetheless, everything's building to next Tuesday. And then when you put people in that meeting, on the Tuesday night meeting, as a second exposure, they will sign up. So yes, Sandra.
I was going to ask for those who have not seen the clip for the national, if we can watch it.
Yes. Can you set that up? Thank you very much for reminding me.
They have Phoenix, they have Cleveland, it doesn't matter.
So we good to go, or is this still open, or do I need to?
Yeah, no, yes, I got it. Yeah, so slide it.
A privilege and an honor. Good stuff. So after this, we're complete for the night, and again, it's an honor to support all of your success. Have a blessed
Thank Your friend.
Yes.
Experience the excitement that we saw. I love it. It was fun. There we go. Right. That's it.
Oh, good.
I was waiting for you to look up here.
Oh. I'm excited to hear.
Not just for yourselves, not just for your friends, for this country and for life. It needs to be a suit. I would never ever tell you that. You get your things with your life. Unexpected. You get to have your life, you're going to be able to say, I made a difference. And that's what it's all about. It's here. It's waiting at your front door. Quit praying. It's here. The opportunity is here. Are you ready to make a difference? You need to start living the life that you deserve. Right now.
Outstanding. Everyone enjoy the rest of their evening. I look forward to seeing you all this weekend for the PBRs we're going to have set up. And we're going to roll that into Tuesday. And I know I'm going to see you all in Charlotte. Have a great evening.
Hey.
has any quick customers to go in, especially if you're 36 days or newer in the business, 0 to 36 days, or if you want to get into the system tonight, I'll be in the back with George and perhaps Elijah to help. You know, only for half an hour if anybody has, you know, wants to get qualified real quick or has any questions. Okay? Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our broadcast for tonight. This video will be available in the YouTube channel under the Matrix Group Lifestyle University. We thank you for viewing. Have a great night.
Sorry. Sorry.